this advice that this wise person gave me was the music will come out anyway because you are musical. Think about the technique. Keep practicing, keep learning, keep listening, keep criticizing yourself every day of your life. Believe that you can keep improving all the time and strive to improve.
我们今天来到台北艺术大学
TNUA
这个大师新秀音乐营。为什么要来这里呢？
因为这是台湾办过最厉害的音乐营，
有非常多世界一流的大师都会出现在这个音乐营里面。那我们这一次笑哈哈呢，这个外派的任务就是来带给大家各个不同大师的访问，然后相信一定会给他非常多精彩的一些内容。
没错，
那我们就来继续看下去吧。
Let's go！ My first question, because I found out many oboists, they have a problem about staying continuity to play even the whole concert or stay their intonation, their sonority.
I think this is a very interesting question because I have a theory, maybe it's more than a theory, that most of the world of oboe players play on reeds which are too hard. And people have the misconception that in order to make a good sound, a full sound, you need to play on a hard reed. But that's not true, actually. It's partly embouchure, and partly the reed. It's a combination that produces the sound and, of course, air. And if you play on a reed which is too hard, then you're going to get tired in the short term. So in one concert, one practice session, your muscles are going to be exhausted. And also in the long term and much more seriously, you will probably, as you get older, be less able to play and your career may finish sooner, which is a real problem and a real danger. So I always advocate my students playing on reeds which are as easy as possible. But you know, if we start talking about reeds, we're going to talk all day and all night. I set the whole thing up so that from the point of gouging the cane, the sides of the reed not too thick, so the taper is quite extreme. And that, for some people, gives the problem that the reed is too close. The answer is to be more relaxed with the embouchure and the jaw. And you can get as much as you need out of that reed and you won't get tired.
Oh, I see. How do you practice the intonation?
I think that's a combination of several things. The instrument needs to be set up properly in the first place and needs to be adjusted so that it suits the individual who's playing it. We're all different, and that's the way I teach as well. Because we're all different, I try and teach people differently. And if the instrument doesn't suit that player, then maybe you need some work done by a professional technician, and then it needs to balance with the reed. And that is also about the person, what suits them. If you're very small, if you have very small mouth, for instance, your requirements will be different from somebody who is built like a weightlifter and has huge muscles everywhere, probably also here. So it's a movable feast. And so intonation is a matter, first of all, of listening, and secondly, reacting with your muscles and with the equipment that you have.
What is the difference between playing solo and between the chamber music?
I suppose officially, if you are soloist, then you're the boss, and it's up to the orchestra and the conductor to follow you. In practice, that's not really music making, and so a good soloist will be as much listening to the orchestra as deciding how to play a phrase. I think that's the best way to make music. But of course, in a small group, there is much more reliance on each other, and also tone color, dynamics, blending, and also the way a phrase moves. So yes, if you're playing chamber music, there's more responsibility to adjust than if you are solo.
It's more collaborative.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to those young oboists? They want to have a great career.
There is an old joke that if the young oboist had known of the problems of reeds, which are every day in your life as a professional, before they started, they would never have become professional oboists. So, by the time you discover about this, it's too late. You're already committed.
Okay.
It's true, of course, but it's a light-hearted approach. Advice: keep practicing, keep learning, keep listening, keep criticizing yourself every day of your life. Believe that you can keep improving all the time and strive to improve. And so, for me, the advice I give my students is to feel things and to work out what sensation it is when something sounds good, when something is right, and then adjust your sensations accordingly.
Yeah.
And practice those sensations. Make that your basis for playing. And so that would be my central advice, to work like that on your own playing. And I feel that my job as teacher is to teach the student to be their own best teacher. Yeah. And if I can do that, I've succeeded.
And so you mentioned about 90% of playing wind instrument is happen interior.
Yeah.
So I think for us as flutists, it's always a big problem about what are we thinking when we are playing. So what are you thinking when you're playing?
Well, someone very wise said to me years ago, if you're musical, when you play, the music will happen. Of course, you've spent time thinking about it, learning the piece, understanding what the composer meant, which is, after all, our first duty before we do anything else, to interpret what the composer intended. This advice that this wise person gave me was, the music will come out anyway, because you are musical. Think about the technique. Think about getting it right. And so whether that means playing on the oboe a low note softly or playing a fast passage accurately, think about the technique, and along the way, the music will be there. But
well, that's a very, very different aspect.
if we start off by thinking about our music and forget the technique, before you know where you are, you've made a mistake.
What is the most unforgettable moment for you staying in this music festival?
So far, because of course we have quite a long way to go, I think it's been two things which in a way go side by side. And it's a tremendous tribute to Cho Lang Lin that he has put together a faculty of really wonderful characters that are fun to be with, dedicated to the job, and we're getting on already somewhat like a family, and that's great. And the other side of that is meeting the students, being able to spend time with them and watching them enjoy making what they're doing get better every day. And it is. It's inspiring to hear them improving and getting better and absorbing what we have to say to them. And so it's a fantastically well thought out and beautifully put together festival, and I'm loving every minute of it.
I think that's the best thing about music festival, because everybody learning together.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about your hobby.
Well, my main hobby has always been nature. Ever since I was a little boy, my mother taught me to look at the world around me, take it all in and enjoy it. And so I still am immensely interested in all that. And the privilege of traveling to all these different places which my life brings me means I see a lot of different, that sort of thing gives me great pleasure. And seeing a lizard in the park near the hotel, that sort of thing, is wonderful. And these days I like fly fishing. As a fly fisherman, you have to try to blend in so that you are invisible in a way in order to catch fish. You just have to be calm and move slowly and approach the fish slowly if you're seeing a fish and you want to catch it.
So let yourself involve into the environment.
Yes. I also find it's an incredible antidote, if you like, to playing the oboe and being in a controlled and pressurized situation inside, which we always are, and just to be out. And so I travel to some places just to fish.
非常谢谢大家的收看，如果有问题都欢迎在下面留言告诉我们，我们都会一一回答你们。记得订阅我们，
打开小铃铛，
拜拜。